This is On the Money with Ryan Wheelis, financial advisor and the founder of Allied Wealth offices all around the great state of Texas. Now, I've often said on the radio program, we're also doing our YouTube videos now. We're going to be posting some of the stuff up to social media. But I always say offices all around the Houston area. But now you're also going to be broadcasting in another part of the great state of Texas. Where are you going to be going to, Ryan?
Yeah, we're taking the show on the road over to Austin. We'll be over there on KLBJ. They got both an AM station format and an FM station format. Austin's always been near and dear to my heart. It was the first town that I lived in when I moved to Texas, I think in 1997, from Birmingham, Alabama. So when you hear the accent, folks, it's not East Texas, it's Alabama. And so anyway, so we've been in that market with our Dave Ramsey Smart Mr. Pro program for years. And they actually reached out to us, Spike, and said, "Hey, we got this slot. We want you guys to fill it. We think you'd be a welcome spot on our show." We said, "Okay, let's go." So now we'll be on the radio and Austin on KLBJ. So we're pretty excited about that. Saturdays from 1 to 2.
1 to 2, I think we said.
Yeah,
fantastic. All right, so
we'll be blessing your ears in Austin, as we like to say here on the show. So lots of good stuff coming the way, but.
And if you're already listening to us right now in Austin and we're broadcasting there, you also can call the phone number and set up your financial flight plan review, investments, taxes, estate planning, healthcare costs. Are you taking the right amount of risk? Too little risk? Are you saving enough? 844-944-7555, as Ryan likes to say.
Well, hey,
I don't quite have the accent you do.
The twang. You have to be born with it. You don't just get it. But Spike, one of those things too is you were talking about those things that we do as part of what we call the financial flight plan.
Yeah.
We relate that, folks, because Spike likes to tell everybody I'm a pilot. So there's a long story behind that, but. Aviation and flying airplanes is about managing risk, and managed properly, you can fly airplanes safely every day. And guess what? You can manage risk through retirement as well, and you can apply the same kind of principles of managing risk at an aviation flight as you can in planning someone's retirement. And we're very good at doing that at Allied Wealth. But more so, Spike, I think people are thinking about it a little bit differently now. They're more thinking of, hey, Ryan, I've got $2 million. How much can I spend and not run out of money in the process? What can I actually do? Am I going to run out of money? Is there a what does it look like for me down the road? How do we navigate if the carry trade between the U.S. dollar and the Japanese yen is unwound overnight and the market goes down 10% over the weekend, and in after hours trading? I mean, how do we navigate that kind of stuff? That's kind of what the plan does. It's helping you navigate the landmines that are out there that can take that $2 million in life savings and find you running out of money before you reach the finish line, right? And that's pretty scary. So it's kind of what we help plan around too.
But when I'm using this metaphor of the financial flight plan that you guys created over there, and gals at your firm, you've got lots of different financial advisors. You've got the support staff. You've got the investment staff. You've got the consistent income staff. You got a whole bunch of people back there. But the reason I like the financial flight plan in the metaphor is that you can't take off with an airplane without filing the flight plan. Yes, there's the mechanics of managing the flight while you're up in the air. But isn't a lot of the work of the flight plan put together before you even take off the ground?
So we have this thing, for instance, it's called second segment climb, okay? And so if you lose an engine at takeoff decision speed in a jet, for instance, you have to be able to make second segment climb, which is the most restrictive part of the climb out on an airplane, on one engine. Well, if your airplane can make the required second segment climb grade, you're good to go. You're going to be safe getting out of the airport even if you lose an engine. That's kind of what I like to equate retirement to, right? Let's make sure that your plan meets that second segment climb requirement. The most restrictive part of an airplane flight is that requirement. Let's make sure it meets that, right? Meaning, hey, Ryan, I need $100,000 a year in income. I've got $60,000 for Social Security. I want it after tax, by the way. That means we probably need another $60,000 a year from your portfolio coming in, okay, to get you $100,000 after tax. What happens if the market crashes on me? Do I still have the same amount of income coming in? And am I going to be okay? And folks, the answer to that question is if you plan properly, yes, you will be okay, and things will be all right. And yes, market crashes come. Market volatility comes, elections happen, all these different things happen. But the bottom line is, if you have a good plan in place, your plan should address those risks. It's that simple. And that's kind of why we came up with a financial flight plan is, to equate, addressing the risk that you can face in retirement that could derail you.
So I'm taking the assumption here, 2 engines on the airplane, okay? And so you're talking about the market going down 2008, right? That's maybe an engine failure right there.
Definitely.
What are some of the ones in the upcoming future that you're worried about? Is there engine failure in interest rates coming up before the end of the year? The election? Now, whether it's a man or a woman who gets into office, is there engine failure there possibly who gets in? What are you worried about throughout the rest of this year?
But Spike, here's the thing. If you do it the right way, you set things up the right way, it shouldn't matter, okay? People have got this philosophy, and I don't know if it came about because of the 401k plan, and we've invested our money in the 401k all these years, and we've gotten this mindset that we have to have all of our money invested the same way in the stock market to have and reach our desired outcomes. And that's not the way it is, folks. It's at least not the way a good financial plan, a good retirement plan, a good income plan is written for retirement purposes. That's not how it works. So, for instance, if you look at your income needs, figure out how to have those income needs met somehow. All right, so there's one way to do it is to keep a 3-year-long cash bucket. Okay, the longest bear market in market history, it lasted about just around 5 years. Okay,
yeah,
but the average ones last just under 3 years. So big decline, big upswing, recovery. Okay, it's about 3 years. So think about this: if you have your income in a cash bucket for that 3-year period, you're not taking money out of your portfolio for the next 3 years. You don't even have to worry about where your income is going to come from, okay? That's one way to do it. And then when the market comes back up, you can replenish your cash bucket. A lot of levers you can pull there. Some people use guaranteed sources of income, and there's 2 guaranteed sources of income out there. One of them is a 30-year treasury bond. All right, a 30-year treasury bond is going to pay a rate of return for 30 years guaranteed, period. It's guaranteed by the government, okay? And I know people say, it's guaranteed by the government. I don't trust the government. Well, neither do I, by the way. But if you have money in your pocket and that money has intrinsic value, it's backed by the full faith and credit of the government, okay? And so if you don't think your money has any value anymore because it's backed by the government, then bring it to me. I'll gladly take it all, okay? So because it's valuable, right? And you're not going to bring me your money because you too understand it has value. But the bottom line here is that, a 30-year bond pays you interest for 30 years. At the end of that 30-year period, you get all of your money back, and you have gotten all of your interest payments, okay? So at the end of that 30-year period, if you bought that bond at 60, you're now 90. It matures. You get your $1 million back. Sure, the $1 million isn't what it used to be, but $1 million is still a lot of money to combat the next 10 years of your life if you make it to 100, all right? The other way to consider doing that is to go to the insurance business or industry and buy an annuity of some kind. Annuities provide guaranteed income for life. So whether you're in the cash bucket camp, the 30-year treasury bond camp, or the annuity camp, make sure that you position your money in a way to where you're not dependent on the stock market to provide the quality of life you want to live in your golden years. Quite frankly, Spike, I can't think of a more nerve-wracking existence. It's like being on the most turbulent flight. Imagine going to over to Paris tonight from Houston, right? It's a 9-hour flight, an 8 or 9 hour flight. Imagine the worst turbulence you've ever experienced on an airliner the entire way to Paris. 9 hours of that. I mean,
that's a terrible
I'm
thought.
a pilot, guys, and I'd be ready to pull my own hair out after that, right? But a lot of people are positioned in a way, Spike, to where that's what their retirement's going to be, and it doesn't have to be that way.
You were saying R5R. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, it's 5R5. Right?
5R5, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So explain that again to me, because how do I get the money safe before I get to retirement? If we go back again, talking about 2008 to 2009, and people who wanted to retire around that time frame, they didn't control what was in their 401ks. What do we do if we're 2, 3, 4 years from retirement with money still in our work plan?
Not the ability to do what's called an in-service withdrawal. you can move money out of your 401k over to an IRA and open up the world of investment opportunities that exist outside of your 401k. That's a non-taxable event, all right? Your 401k plan still stays open if you keep working. Contributions go in, matches go in, and it's as if the 401k plan was never touched to begin with. But now what you've done is open up the world of opportunities out there available to you. And you can put money in safe income. You can put money in income with risk, and you can buy things like structured notes too, folks. We got a structured note the other day. A wholesaler was brought to us. The darn thing was paying 17% for 3 years. 17%. That's a heck of a number, okay? My point is there's a lot of different opportunities out there that exist that are outside your 401k plan that you can choose to roll it over. Now, that's 5 years before retirement, okay? After retirement, kind of works the same way. You have the ability to roll money out of your 401k and open up the world of opportunity that exists out there beyond that.
Okay, Ryan, we got to wrap up this segment right now. If you're listening on the radio or even if you're watching on our YouTube channel right now, you can call the phone number. If you're listening on the radio, we have operators standing by right now who will schedule your appointment to get started on your own financial flight plan. That number is 844-944-7555. That's 844-944-7555. People standing by right now to schedule your appointment. Or you can actually schedule your own appointment if you want to at retirenowhouston.com. That's retirenowhouston.com, and you've got all other kinds of tools on there. So if you're on the web already watching us on YouTube, go look at some of the tools on the website, retirenowhouston.com. You're listening to Ryan Wheelis of Allied Wealth and On the Money radio, TV, and video. Thanks, Ryan. We'll be right back with more information on financial education right after this.